What up, YouTube? GamingGuru91 here, and today I'm back with an NBA update. Just to let you guys know what's going on in the real world NBA. And starting off, we'll talk about some contract news. Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James have both opted out of their contracts, so this creates some more fun for us to see what's going to happen in free agency. I personally have a feeling that at the end of the day, Carmelo will go to Chicago. And the reason I think this is because the Bulls are trying to clear cap space. They might amnesty Boozer, which is a very viable option, because his salary is just, no one wants to take that salary on for a trade. And the draft already happened, and there were no really big trades, except for almost pick-to-pick trades. And the Tyson Chandler trade happened a little while before that, but I'll get to that later. So I feel like Melo will go to Chicago because he can help take some of the scoring load off of Derrick Rose. And also, that presence of having Carmelo there, that can force a team to double team him, which can leave open someone like Taj Gibson, who's athletic and has a workable jumper, I'll say. He's not bad. And also, if Derrick Rose does come back, that helps him out a lot more. It can help with his recovery. He doesn't have to go as hard, I guess you could say. Like, excuse me. He doesn't have to just do everything himself on offense, you know, because Luol Deng's gone too, and that would be a good replacement for Luol Deng. Obviously, he's a huge upgrade. Not to say that Deng's bad, but Melo is just one of the best scorers in the game right now. And next with LeBron James, I don't know where he will end up. I personally have a feeling that he might end up back in Cleveland. I know it sounds weird, especially since they drafted Andy Wiggins first overall. I'll get to that later as well, but I feel like, just hear me out here. If they do take him back, it would be Kyrie at the 1. I feel like they'd play Wiggins at the 2, because he could play the 2 or the 3. They'd play LeBron at the 3, Tristan Thompson at the 4, and then it would be, I feel like, Anderson Varejao or Spencer Hawes at the 5. And guys coming off the bench, you'd have Anthony Bennett and Varejao as very good front court players. And James would play a solid 35 to 40 minutes a game, which is pretty much the whole game. That's just the way he plays. He's a high motor. That's why I think he may go back to Cleveland. And next thing I want to talk about is going to be the Tyson Chandler trade. So, the Dallas Mavericks made a big blockbuster trade, and they acquired Tyson Chandler. So, what they gave up a few solid players, but they got back Raymond Felton, who's a not bad point guard. They also got back Tyson Chandler. I forget exactly who Dallas gave up, but overall I feel like this is a good trade for Dallas because now they got Dirk at the 4, Chandler at the 5. Felton could be a starter or come off the bench as the 1. So I feel like this is a pretty good trade for the Mavericks, and this is one of the bigger trades we've had so far. This is probably the biggest news coming out since the draft and obviously the contract opt-outs. So I feel like this is a really good trade. And the Mavericks, the thing is, they're kind of older now, so as soon as, you know, Dirk retires, they don't really have much to work with other than picks. So they could be close to a rebuild. So this is kind of like their last hurrah at the championship, you know what I'm saying? Next thing I want to talk about is going to be the NBA draft. So NBA draft was yesterday. I watched every single pick because I love the Toronto Raptors, if you guys didn't know. I watched every single pick until the Raptors, and not gonna lie, I was very surprised at who they picked. They picked, I forgot his name 100%, it's right here. His name is Bruno Caboclo. I think that's how you say it. He's because he's considered the Brazilian Kevin Durant. But at the same time, he's a tweener. He can play small forward or power forward. I feel like he plays more small forward though, because I watched his highlights, and I mean, he's good, but he's young. He doesn't have a lot of muscle. He's put on a lot of muscle. You can tell he's very thin. And you know what? I don't know. Masai Ujiri, he makes weird picks. I mean, like, not weird picks, but he makes kind of surprising picks. Kenneth Faried was picked 22nd, and now look at him, solid player. And he was, everyone kind of just thought whatever about him. He wasn't supposed to be great. He was supposed to be like whatever kind of player. He's not bad. Hopefully, Ujiri can replicate that with the Raptors. As they also got DeAndre Daniels, who's a solid power forward. And I believe they had one other pick, but I do not remember who they picked at that pick. Let me check up here 1 second. They picked, I think it's Xavier Thames is his name. And that's a point guard. So that's a little bit of insurance for Kyle Lowry as a possibility of him leaving, as he's been in talks with the Miami Heat. And I mean, I feel like the Raptors should have taken Shabazz Napier at 20 overall. That's a personal thought. You know, he's Canadian. Toronto obviously is a Canadian team. I thought that would just be really cool generally for that to happen, and for that reason I thought that Napier was the most logical choice. But then again, that's my opinion. I'm not the GM, I'm just a fan, so I don't really know what they're thinking. I mean, if he ends up being like a solid reserve player or role player, then you know that's a solid pick at the end of the day. And now, talking about the rest of the draft, first overall was Andrew Wiggins, like I mentioned. That's huge for Canada because that's back-to-back first overall picks, and that proves that, you know, Canada is not just a weak basketball team nationally anymore. We have a solid foundation of players, and that means that we can still do really good, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, we have some really good players. We got players coming up too. I mean, Canada is definitely on its way up. And next pick was Jabari Parker. And Jabari Parker, Joel Embiid, and Wiggins were the top 3 picks. Then everyone just kind of said Embiid was supposed to go first overall, but because of his foot injury, he went 3rd to the 76ers. But at the same time, Parker, 2nd overall to the Bucks, solid player. I feel like he's the most NBA ready player in this draft. And the only other person, excuse me, could possibly be Doug McDermott is very NBA ready, I feel like. But Parker, out of the top 3, is definitely the most NBA ready. And like I said, Embiid went 3rd overall. And for that reason, if anyone saw his delayed reaction, which was really funny, it was actually, again, it was a delayed tape. It's not that he wasn't excited or anything. It was just that he even put it on Twitter saying, yeah, this is my real reaction. I found that kind of funny, but I mean, that was just delayed reaction. And 4th overall went Aaron Gordon. So Aaron Gordon to the Magic. This is a bit of a off the board, I guess you could say, because Dante Exum was the expected 4th overall. And the reason for that is that Jameer Nelson is old. I think he's 34 or 36, I'm not 100% sure. And Exum could have been a very, very good point guard for them because he can pass, he's a natural passer. He's 6'6", he has size and length. He's like a Sean Livingston, Magic Johnson kind of player. He has like those kind of physical features, physical gifts, I should say. And then next was Dante Exum to the Jazz. Like I was saying, he's a solid pick. He very high chance he's gonna play the 2. And last thing I'm gonna talk about is just Nick Stauskas. Went 8th overall to the Kings. So Nick Stauskas, 8th overall to the Kings. He's a sharpshooter, but at the same time he can put the ball on the floor and he can make his own offense. Create his own offense, and he knows how to pass. So for me, Nick Stauskas was a very good pick, I feel like, for the Kings. They really needed like just purely shooting, and they definitely got in Stauskas. So this is just my video on NBA update, and I just want to let you guys know I'm actually going to be away from tomorrow until next Saturday. So for the next week, I will not be posting, but I will be posting when I get back, and I promise you that I will be posting regularly. So like if you agree with me, comment on what kind of news you heard or you want to talk about, or if you have any speculations on anything I was talking about. And guys, please subscribe for more.